has a son, and her career includes both banking and nursing. And her special hobby, which I love, is her popular YouTube channel called Jamaica from the Outside, where she promotes her Jamaican culture. So, Miss Gray, I know you hail from the beautiful island of Jamaica, but where exactly in Jamaica are you from?
Hi, Joan.
Hi there.
Thank you so much. Yes, first of all, thank you for having me.
A pleasure.
Hello to your co-host.
Yeah, Mr.
So,
Witter.
Joan,
Greetings, greetings.
yes, thank you. So, I'm from Portland, the parish of Portland.
Yes.
Yes, Portland, a little district right at the border of Portland and St. Mary called Windsor Castle.
Mm.
Yes,
Excellent.
so
Excellent.
Portland.
Beautiful. I don't think I've been there. I think Mr. Witter has from the sound of it.
Oh
But
yeah, that's my town. I'm a Portland man.
oh,
100%.
see, there's always a connection.
You see?
Every time, listen to this. Every time we have a guest, there's a connection with Mr. Witter. Isn't that something?
You see? We gotta investigate that.
Yes, something up. Beautiful.
A
I'm
lot
sure.
of persons agree that it's the most beautiful parish. I'm not saying it, I'm just saying
That's what people think. Okay. We'll take their word for it. All right. Now, you worked as a banker in Jamaica, and that must have been pretty interesting. So, I hope you don't mind telling us about your career in Jamaica as a banker.
No, Joan. In fact, I worked with Scotiabank.
Okay.
Shortly after I left school, I worked there for a year as a teller, and then I left and went to university, studied for 4 years. Then I went back to the bank and stayed there for a little under 20 years.
Okay. Wow. So,
That's the point at which, yes, that's the point at which I migrated. But I started as a teller and went up through the system, and I left as an investment banker.
that's the best way to do it, I think, starting and working your way up in whatever career it is. Yes, lovely. Because you really learn the ropes.
20 awesome years.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am. But there were 20 amazing years.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so you migrated obviously to the USA. I just wonder, was it a culture shock for you? If so, explain. And if it was not, explain.
It was definitely a culture shock.
Tell
One of
us.
the most, one of the most traumatic shocks.
Oh no.
Well, not one of the most. It's the most traumatic shock that I experienced because nothing prepared me for it, Joan. Nothing had prepared me for it. I thought I was just basically going to continue with my life, moving from Jamaica, but I didn't. I basically started my life all over when I came here.
Wow.
You know, and most of us are familiar with the challenges because most of us are immigrants, so we know what it is like to move from one culture, a third world country,
Yes.
to a first world culture.
Exactly.
Yes, depending on your social network, you may have a lot of cushion, but if you don't have that in place, then it can be very traumatizing.
Yes.
If you want, yes, specifics. For instance, Joan, I remember my first Easter. I remember crying because Easter, being in Jamaica, Easter, first of all, it's a big holiday. You're off Good Friday, Easter Monday, Easter Sunday. There's lots of bun and cheese.
Yes, man.
Yes, when I came, it was just like business as usual here.
I know.
Like,
I know. I remember having my own bun. That was such a thrill. Each of us kids had our own bun for Easter and our own cheese. Yes.
Give that as gifts.
Yes.
If you're going to
Yes.
and persons who are close to you, you bring them upon, and
Mm-hmm.
at least a big chunk of cheese, and that's all you would need. But
But,
yes, that was because
I
it
want
came a
to.
little before Easter, and
Yes.
so that sent some shock through my system
Mm-hmm.
because it was just everybody was just working, and it was just like another day.
I
So
know. What about the
mhm.
people? Was there a shock in that, in the way you were treated, or
Yes.
not? Okay.
D-
Tell us if you.
Definitely. I remember the first one I encountered was when I tried job hunting.
Mm.
I went to a bank, well, because I had worked for so many years in banking, like I said earlier, Joan, I was thinking that I was just going to carry on with my life. So
Mm.
I started looking for a job working in a bank because banking was all I knew. So I went to a bank, got an interview, and the interviewer was also a Jamaican born person. So I thought, okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
score, a point right there.
Yes.
And yes, we chit chatted about this and that. He really made me feel comfortable. And at the end, he said to me, I won't be able to offer you the job because persons won't be able to understand your accent.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and
Mm.
that really hit me hard.
That's awful.
Mhm.
That's terrible. Yes.
Yes,
And,
yes, and well, I guess to their ears, I would have an accent, but as far as I know, I speak English well enough for persons to understand what I'm
yes.
saying. But yes, but that was one of the shocks, in the workplace. And then
Mm.
when eventually I got a job in the nursing field here,
Oh
I
yeah.
realized that the culture was so different.
Yes.
Living and working in Jamaica, you have a communal approach because you're working with people that you live in the community with. You see people at work, you probably see them at church,
Yes.
you probably see them in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
Their family knows your family or knows somebody who knows somebody who knows you, that kind of thing. In the workplace, you're basically alienated.
I know. I
You
know.
just go to work, you do your thing, you go back home, and it's a different set of dynamics.
I
Totally
understand.
different.
Yes, I hear what you're saying about the accent, but I've always loved accents. Maybe I'm different, but as you speak clearly, that's the important thing. No one should complain about your accent because I feel there's some prejudice with certain accents are acceptable. For example, when you come with a British accent, oh yeah, everybody is loving it. And sometimes you really can't always understand even what some British people are saying, but that's okay. It's just certain accents that they seem to have a little prejudice about, or they used to. Hopefully, they are learning that as long as you speak clearly and we can understand you, that is what is important because I think diversity means we must have different accents, even here in the US
Oh,
as
absolutely.
right. But hopefully things are changing for the better. That's just another thing, that needs to be worked out, right?
Yeah.
But you
So
obviously made it. You made it, and you became a
I
nurse.
did. I sure did.
You became a
I sure
nurse,
did.
and you are currently working with Medicaid, correct? Very
I
work
am.
very worthwhile profession, nursing, right? We know that. Thank God you're saving lives every day. And we'd like to hear more about that. And perhaps some of our listeners may want to hear something about Medicaid if that's something you can divulge. So tell us about your nursing career now, please.
Okay. So, first of all, how I got started. Well, shortly after I told you the banking, my attempts to get into banking didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I had to find a job. So I got a job as a CNA, a nursing assistant. And
Okay.
I just wanted to do that until I I thought I would do it until I found my footing. I didn't have a timeline, but I knew as soon as I got myself situated, I would exit the field.
Yes.
But then persons started saying to me, "You're such a good nursing nurse. Why don't you go to school and become a nurse?" And I was thinking, what? Because the thought had never crossed my mind. If you
Yes.
had asked me before, or if you had told me that I was going to be a nurse, I would really laugh.
Right.
Because that was never something that I contemplated. But I started enjoying what I was doing, and persons kept encouraging me. And then, to be honest, too, I started to feel that I would do myself good, and I would be an asset to other persons
Yes.
if I were to pursue studies in nursing. And so that prompted me to enroll in school, and I did enroll, and I graduated, started worked at a few facilities, and then I went with Medicaid a little over 6 years ago, and just loving it.
What do,
Totally loving it.
what do you actually do with Medicaid?
Okay,
How does...
so I do pre-cert nursing. What that means is when providers, doctors, hospitals, or facilities, before doctors perform procedures, then
right.
they have to get authorization from the insurance.
I see.
Because doctors want to be paid, providers want their money,
Mm-hmm.
and so you find that before they consent to do procedures, they get authorizations from the insurance company. So that's where I come in.
Okay.
They call us, and yes, we review the members, what's going on with the member,
Mm-hmm.
versus whether or not we think they meet certain criteria
Okay, I
to
see.
have the procedures done. Yes, so we basically assess the members, see if they meet the criteria, and if we think they do, then we approve it and they get their procedures done.
Okay. Wonderful.
So, yes, that's basically the role of the pre-cert nurse.
Excellent. Now, before I go on, Mr. Witter, did you want to ask anything or say anything?
You guys are doing just great. I'm just glad to hear my Portland lady here and the thing that she
Yes.
and the knowledge and experience that you have gained over the years and making you what you are. We appreciate you being a part of the network today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
Thank you.
That leads me to your very interesting hobby. You have a YouTube channel called Jamaica from the Outside, and you actually interviewed me on that.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. And you interviewed my aunt. Right, who's 98 years old. Yes, she's amazing. But your channel does a lot to promote Jamaica in a positive way, and I love that. Because we need that. There's a lot of negative,
Yes.
and there's some who are promoting that pretty much. So why not have a channel like yours that
Yes.
promotes the good and the positive? So please tell us all about it. I want to hear all about it, how you got started, why you did it, a bunch of things. So go ahead.
So how I got started. I mentioned to you earlier, Joan, that I absolutely love my job. I love my job.
Yes.
I love my job. And so for years, my job had it's like an open overtime. I normally work 10 hours per day for 4 days, but my job would allow me to work up to 6 days.
Yes.
For basically as long as I want. And I would always work, not because I needed to work, but because I love what I do, Joan.
Good.
I really love it. So I would just work and work and work. And then about a year or so ago, that stopped. That stopped. So I just work 40 hours per week. But what it means is that all those times that I used to work, I am left thinking, what am I going to do with all this time now? What am I going to do?
Yes.
So during those soul searching moments, it dawned on me, why don't you start a YouTube channel? So I said, okay, that's not a bad idea. I think I would start it. So I'm talking to myself and I'm saying, what would you talk about? You need to find something that you will always have something to talk on the topic.
Yes.
And you also need to find something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
And I said, well, I'm definitely passionate about my country. You know?
Yes,
So,
indeed.
and there will always be things to talk about. And so there were not many things in that option, but Jamaica was definitely, when I thought of it, I said, this is it. I want to talk about Jamaica. And then I said, what aspect? There were so many persons talking about the murder, but that's not something we need to look at. But I didn't want to focus on those aspects.
Yes, on the crime.
I didn't want I wanted to talk about the birds and the bees and the positive things, like you said.
And the flowers and the trees.
Yes, exactly. There are still good things about our country. We
So
need to
much,
improve
yes.
on a lot of things. But there are so many good things.
Yes.
And the thing is, I love our culture. I love the Jamaican culture because it is what makes us who we are as a people.
Yeah.
And so I thought I'm going to look at Jamaica from a cultural perspective. And that would be my focus. And so I got started. Wasn't sure exactly because of a number of things. One, technology. I was not really born in the technology era. And so there were certain challenges.
Yes.
But yes, so I thought, listen, this is a great opportunity to get up to speed with what's going on in the technological world.
Right.
And to, get the channel growing, which would be hopefully, of some benefit to somebody out there.
Yes.
And hence my beginning.
Very
and
good.
Since then, it has been growing. It has been a learning experience.
Yes.
If you look at my earlier videos, in fact, I've been in the process of deleting some of my earlier videos because I look at them and I roll my eyes.
Oh my goodness.
I look at where I am now. So the channel is growing, but so am I.
Well, that's good. Sometimes you need to leave them up there to see how far you've come.
I just didn't want somebody to look at it and get turned off.
Right.
What is this?
Yes. Yes. Talking of that, I hope our listeners and Mr. Witter and everyone will check them out. We'll go on YouTube and look for Jamaica from the Outside because some really interesting stuff. And subscribe. Don't forget.
And subscribe,
yes.
I would really appreciate that.
I think I subscribed, right? I think so. Oh, beautiful.
I think so, but you need to check that out, Joan.
Yes.
You need to check that out.
Check it. I'll check it out. All right. Just then we're coming down to the crunch. So take a few minutes to share with our listeners your thoughts and idea for our future generation. I ask that of you because the legacy we leave is important to me. And I really love children. And so it really touches my heart to know that I might be able to do something that might help specifically young people in the future. So just let us know what your thoughts and ideas are as far as that is concerned. And also be sure to leave a number or some sort of contact information in case anyone should want to reach you about your YouTube channel, okay, or anything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What was your question about the future generation?
Okay, what are your thoughts and ideas for the future generation? What do you think is needed for, to help them?
Okay. So, our future generation, in one aspect, like I mentioned earlier about the technology, they won't have a whole lot of challenge, I think, because they are born within that era and it's growing with them. So they basically just need to have an open mind to deal with these undeniable changes that are happening, you know. Because if you look, for instance, Joan, our world has significantly changed since 2020 when we had the pandemic. The world before 2020 is not the same as the world that exists now.
No.
You know, and yes, and it seems to be shrinking. But definitely global cooperation, with the social media, I think is one. With AI coming on board, all of that. But with all of that, Joan, what I would leave with them is this. Despite the changes, despite the direction in which the world is going now, which is different from the world that their mother grew up in or their grandmother grew up in, I would say to them, put God first.
Yes. Yes, amen.
Despite everything, all the challenges, whatever success, and they will be successful, because like I said, for one, they're born in the era. But irrespective of that, my suggestion, my advice to them, despite everything, always put God first.
Indeed. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. And we as this generation needs to put our best foot forward and make sure that we're supporting young people, encouraging young people to learn what's best from us, So we have to show an example to our young people that they can carry on in the future and support their desires as well and their goals as best we can. Yeah, so one of the things we do as an association, the Jamaican Association, is the scholarships. And we're doing our small part. And I think all of us can help schools in Jamaica and here and other things that will make the future brighter for the next generation. But thank you so much. Yes, thank you for coming on. Appreciate your telling us. Yes, tell us about your... Go ahead.
Yes, the YouTube channel.
Yes, I will.
For persons who are listening, I don't know if there are persons in the older generation or not.
Right.
But I'm speaking to everyone as if they're not familiar. Just go on YouTube, put in Jamaica from the outside, and you can't miss it because it's basically talking about different cultural events and persons from Jamaica, successes, triumphs, challenges, and events, that kind of thing. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
We will. Thank you again.
And reach out.
Thank you.
Make your comments, your suggestions.
Yes, we will. We will. And we appreciate it again. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Witter, for allowing us on. And coming up at 2 o'clock in a minute or so, we have Mr. Melville Harris live from Jamaica. Excellent. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Victor.
All right. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Blessings.
And you as well, sir.
Bless you. Thank you so much, Joe.
You're welcome.
She's royal.
Yes, we are.
Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless.
Amen.
Bye-bye.